Yeah, I was glad to be home. I think our guys took advantage of being home. I thought it was, you know, obviously I think we're getting better. I thought we defended the 3-point line really well. That's just a common theme for us, and I really thought that we had the most energy in the Sawmill that we've had in a couple of years. And you could feel it, you could sense it, and I think our players fed off of it. And I thought our crowd fed off of our players as well. It's what makes one of the best home court advantages in college basketball we have, one of the best records, and it was fun to be in here the other night.
As of yesterday, officially back first in the nation, turnovers forced per game, and also ninth in the nation when it comes to steals per game. Talk a little bit about that.
That's our style of play, right, Hunter? We're just, we try to force turnovers, try to limit teams not to run their offense, and our guys are we're getting better. I mean, it's a totally different team, I think, than we were 6 weeks ago, and the aggression. And, when you have the depth that we have, I think we're able to play. And you could tell the other night it didn't matter. We're just playing in waves and keeping guys fresh. And yeah, the other night was hard. Seattle, they're really a ball in hand team, dribble, and don't really pass it a whole lot except for a shot. And their offense starts with a dribble versus a pass. And so, they ran good offense, and fortunately we forced them to miss shots versus makes.
Just had practice today. Talk a little bit about the preparation for the road trip ahead.
Well, we worked solely on New Mexico State today, and we'll again tomorrow. But, we know the record is not indicative of what their team is. A great storied program before we got in this league, obviously, have been the dominant program in the WAC, previously before, the Texas teams got in here. And so we know how good they are. And they played us well the first time. And I think both teams are a little bit different. I really commend their team down 24-26-3. And then it's 39-36 at half against Utah Valley. And it's a ball game. There's no quit in their team. There's no quit in their coach, and Greg Heyer. He's a championship-level coach, and they've had unbelievable bad luck. I mean, whatever they are today, and they could run it out and win them all the rest of the way because they have a bunch of winners on their team that have won everywhere they've been, and they don't want to talk about it, nor do I. The unfortunate incident that occurred back in November and whatever, and they're still kind of reeling from that. But all they need is one win to get them going. And I thought Pinson was phenomenal against us. Had 20 points. We couldn't guard him. We didn't have a matchup for him. And Avery was really good. We made a couple shots and was able to win the game at the end of the day.
Coach, you guys obviously back at the top of the WAC, or at least in a bit of a jam there at the top with a few other teams. And you mentioned the other night you guys control your own destiny. Now you're going to leave Nacogdoches for a few games. The last road trip for you guys started out well, then you had the game against Southern Utah against Sam. What do you guys change anything in your approach this road trip? Is it just business as usual for you guys going into this one?
Well, I tried to get you to come with this bucket so you could play golf. That was the first thing we tried to change. I thought you and I could go play some golf when we were in Phoenix and before the Phoenix Open started and kind of tour that facility. I always want to play 17 out there, or 16, the par 3, and I wanted to yell for you while we were out there and have a cart girl out there and just see what it was like to be out there. But honestly, though, no, we don't change anything. I mean, I think we've had so much success. A couple of years ago, we led the country in road wins. I think what we do is it's not how we do it, it's what we do. And I think we've had great success on the road. The last 2 road games we lost because in the middle of the second half, we turned the ball over. So our focus today and will be this week is not turning the basketball over as much. And because I thought to start us off in league play, we weren't turning the ball over. And then the last 4 games, we've turned it over more. And I don't think you can go on the road and turn the ball over and expect to win in a really tough environment that we're about to see. And I'm excited. I hope, last time we played New Mexico State, they hadn't lost in 5 years in league play at home, and we were able to beat them, and they had about 8,000 or 9,000 there. And I've never been to Grand Canyon. Everybody says what a great home court advantage that is, and sold out. And, that's the kind of stuff for me that gets my juices flowing, and I think our players too, if you're a competitor. So it's really going to be a cool week for us.
And that's the next thing I wanted to ask you about. So obviously GCU, they're kind of known for the home environment they have there in the student section and all that. And then just this week, the game after that, like UTRGV, they had a sold out game this week. So what do you talk to the guys about before those road games? Like, you're going into a hostile environment, the crowd's going to be all over you. What do you guys talk about before those games and trying to block that out or get out to a quick start and kind of maybe mute that a little bit?
Well, you try to block out the noise, but I don't know. For me, I can't. I've been doing it so long, but I don't know about an 18 to 22-year-old kid. We had one place this year where it was pretty ugly. We had to get the police involved, and where it wasn't great with the student section. One place we went to, but I would think at GCU it'd probably be pretty clean, so it won't be like that. With their Christian-based background. But I love it. And I think as a competitor, your players love it. It's the sitting golf buckets where you just sit back and you get to concentrate. I don't know if you can stop your downswing like Tiger can when somebody's yelling in your swing, but
Not these days.
you got to be pretty athletic to do that. But I think that's when you're when you're at your best. That's when it brings out all the juice in it. And when you're at home, you should raise your level of play. And as a competitor on the road, that's when I think you get excited. I hate going on the road and nobody being there. Personally, I love going on the road when it's got some juice to it and there's some people there. And we did work on today, kind of echoing some play calls out to try to help each other to answer your question. Which maybe we weren't great at in the past because we haven't, in some of the leagues we've been in the past, that we weren't playing in front of 8,000 or 9,000 people. But, in the old Big 12 days, and you can't hear anybody, we used to use marker boards and draw plays because that's real basketball league. And it's hard to hear you, and you got to draw it up and write the play call down so you can see it because you can't hear it. And I hope it's that way this week. It'd be fun if it was.
Journey to New Mexico on Wednesday, and then a Battle of the Purples on Saturday. We'll see you on the road trip, Coach.
Thanks, Hunter. Axum.